I can do better. Okay.
Rob, why doesn't it just say we're just being forced to do this?
It does, just
Okay. Just checking. That's what I got out of it. 'Cause I'm still confused.
that's the reason why.
It's what Bill Clinton said. Everything has been said, but not everyone has said it.
The lawsuits and the appeals and all, it just starts like, really? I thought we won that. Nope, lost that. Okay. But we still may get it back. I'm like, what?
I can go into more detail for this, but I'll have to do it.
Yeah, especially on this one. Is this going to be televised, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We're gonna stick it in the commercial there between,
Yeah.
the 5:30 and 10:06 commercial break.
Borough Council meeting and the MVCC meeting.
Yeah, there you go.
Judy's probably watching though. I didn't realize she had hip surgery.
I didn't either.
Is she home yet?
Yeah, I didn't mention it, there's a copy.
Yeah. I hear she's doing well, but
That's a mistake.
Well, if you go to Rotary, you get up
She
to.
did it.
Her hip surgery was a mistake?
No,
Oh,
I should have mentioned it.
oh.
Did she fall or?
no, I think it's a hip replacement.
Hello? Hey, what's up? I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay. Is everybody ready?
I think so.
All right. I'd like to call the Monday, February 26, 2018 Oakwood City Council meeting to order. Would you please rise, join me with the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please, Lori?
Mayor Duncan,
Here.
Vice Mayor Byington.
Here.
Mr. Stevens,
Here.
Mrs. Hilton. Here. Mr. Epley.
Thank you. We will dispense with the minutes of our last meeting, and we will have that report at our next meeting. Do we have any visitors that wish to address council this evening? Seeing none, hearing none, we will go immediately to legislation. Vice Mayor Byington has an ordinance to amend our city income tax code. Vice Mayor Byington.
Yes, Your Honor. This is a piece of legislation that is becoming too common for us, and it is something that we have to do because of attacks made by the state. It's an ordinance to amend our city income tax code to adopt sections of 7.1 or 718.80 through 718.95 of the Ohio Revised Code and declare this an emergency. This is an ordinance to update our income tax code. It will allow businesses who file net profit tax returns to file directly through the state of Ohio's Department of Taxation instead of filing with the Oakwood Income Tax Division, which they have done for countless years. This change has been mandated by the state of Ohio through House Bill 49, which we believe is an unconstitutional act that usurps home rule and local control of municipal income tax. When House Bill 49 was adopted, it included language requiring Ohio municipalities to adopt certain provisions of state law as part of their local income tax ordinance. These provisions allow businesses that file net profit tax returns to file directly with the state. They also authorize the state to take over local collection and administration of these taxes and impose reporting requirements on the city to assist this assault on local home rule. Municipalities were required to adopt these provisions by January 31st, 2018, or risk losing all local taxing authorities. Basically, it's governance through retribution. In November, the city of Oakwood joined a coalition of approximately 160 other Ohio municipalities to file a lawsuit in Franklin County Common Pleas Court challenging House Bill 49. The state agreed to extend the January 31st deadline until February 24th, pending a ruling on a motion for preliminary injunction. That ruling was issued last week, and unfortunately, the court decided in the favor of the state. We believe that decision was wrong and are planning an appeal. But for now, we must adopt House Bill 49 provisions or risk losing our taxing authority. In doing so, we do not concede our right to continue challenging this unconstitutional state law. The Ohio Constitution allows the General Assembly to limit a city's power to levy taxes, but we do not believe that that authority allows the state to collect and administer a tax levied by the city. That power rests with the city of Oakwood as an exercise of its constitutional home rule authority, and we remain hopeful that the appellate court will vindicate this important local right. In order to comply with the state mandated deadline, this ordinance is being introduced as an emergency ordinance, and no second reading is required at this time. Reluctantly, I move that council adopt this ordinance tonight as an emergency measure for the reasons set forth above.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? The only thing I would point out is when we testified against this provision for centralized collection, we indicated that the Ohio Business Gateway, which is the Ohio agency that's supposed to administer this, was not adequately prepared to handle it. If the state thinks that this is such a great opportunity for businesses, they shouldn't have to require cities to adopt this ordinance or threaten us with the loss of our ability to tax whatsoever. This attack on home rule continues with this legislature. We have no longer a partner up in Columbus. They are, in fact, an existential threat to local governments. As an aside, we have fought them on home rule provisions in the past and have beat them. Most recently, the speed camera case, which happened a year or so ago. Now, because they lost that rule, they are being very spiteful and vindictive. There's legislation in Columbus right now that would say that city municipal courts could not charge court costs to people found violating the speed camera law. And to the extent that they were able to fine people for violating the speed camera law, that they will deduct dollar for dollar those fines imposed by a court directly against the local government fund. Representative Seitz is the person who is sponsoring this legislation. He was the one that was quoted back during House Bill 5 as saying, if the cities don't quit bitching about this, we'll eliminate their ability to tax municipalities altogether. Unfortunately, Representative Butler is co-sponsoring this. He has some rather I would say a due process issue for him, but I think Representative Butler should not be getting in bed with Representative Seitz because he is not a supporter of local governments. That's all I have to say on the matter. I'll have more to say at our next meeting. Anybody else? Hearing none, Lori, would you call the roll?
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mrs. Hilton?
Yes.
Mr. Epley?
Does anyone want to make any council comments? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. We'll see you on March 12, 2018.
Go Fly.